Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing? It is Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And you know what I'm going to say. If you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. So focus on what is good. It does not benefit you anything if you focus on all the negative things. So please focus on what is good. If you would like to donate to the podcast, please donate at $ at SB Favor at Cash App. Thank you so much for your donations. Listeners, thank you so much for your support this week. I've received good news that the podcast is progressing and expanding in different media outlets, and thank God we are even on the charts now. And so I just thank you guys, thank you listeners for that. I thank you because it's the support that you give that has allowed this podcast, to prosper. Tripping over my words again because it's been a long day, but it's been a good day. Just a little tired, but I am here, and Jaki Draper is here, and we're going to talk about a victimization mindset. Yes, a victimization mindset. And like we all have gone through different things where circumstances and situations have tried to control our attitude and our mood. And when we go through something, we have to decide that we're going to be resilient, determined, and we're not going to fall prey to a victimization attitude. So we're going to talk about that on this episode. How you doing, Jaki?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Well, I'm here. I'm a little tired, but I'm here. Got to keep it moving, right?
Yep. It's the middle of the week.
Yeah, Lord Jesus.
Okay. Yep.
It is the middle of the week. Early in the week, I received an email with congratulations about being number 2, number 9, and number 12. Independent spirituality number 2 and spirituality number 9. I think it was something else. I don't have the information in front of me. But anyway, on the Good Pods app.
It's exciting.
Yeah, this podcast is hitting the charts. So I'm just happy about that. And we're going to continue to do the work because hard work does pay off. So, listeners, I appreciate you all. I don't want you to forget that. I appreciate you. So, Jaki, this topic is interesting. What'd you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's easy to, to go through something and then get a woe is me attitude. What'd you say? It's easy.
Well, I definitely do not ever consider myself a victim of anything. And the reason is I was raised by my mother, who was the eternal victim. So it was something that I always knew from a young child that I didn't want to be like that. I did not like that about her. It was, sometimes you see things in your parents and you want to be like that. Well, sometimes they have certain traits that you despise and you just don't want to be anything like. And that was my mother. She was always a victim of something.
Wow.
And something going on. And it was, annoying at the very least. And, just awful at the very worst, because it was always something. There was always something going on with her.
Wow.
Now that I'm older and I know more about people, there was a lot more going on in her head. But at the time, it was something that I just couldn't stand about her. So it was easy for me to grow up knowing that I'm never going to be like that. And so it's something that stuck with me my whole life.
Yeah, a victimization mindset is one that constantly wants the attention on themselves, focusing on a situation or circumstance that's mostly negative, and that person just refuses to have a positive attitude about overcoming or just being better. Also a person with a victimization mindset is one that is very dramatic, and they want the attention on themselves, and they can't see past the circumstance or situation. And sadly, we don't have to have a mindset of victimization. We all have a story. We all have been through different types of situations in our life, whether it's childhood trauma, whether it's a family relationship that went sour, or a bad marriage. We all have gone through something. But we are not defined by what we have gone through. We can overcome the things that we've gone through in our past. And so when we don't choose to press forward with a different mindset, then that's what happens. A person becomes a victim. They have a victimization mindset. And we don't have to be that way. I truly believe that it's a choice, because my mother, Jackie, raised 5 children. My parents were divorced, by the time I was a teenager. And my mom was very determined, very resilient. And, back then, for a woman to have 5 children, somebody probably looked at her and probably said, "What are you going to do? You're getting a divorce." You know what I mean? But my mom...
Are you crazy doing this by yourself?
Right. But my mom, she constantly told us, I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going back to school. Everything that my mom said she was going to do, she did it. And so I paid attention to her attitude. I paid attention to her words and how she carried out the steps to accomplish her goals. And what I saw was a woman that was very resilient, very strong, and very focused on her faith. And so I believe that's one of the reasons why I have the attitude that I have today, is because of my mom. My mom passed away September 7th. And this year, and she is truly missed. And I cherish everything my mom gave me, because she just embodied courage in everything that she did in her life, and raising us. It was just a blessing for me, being the oldest girl, to see her attitude of resilience, to progress through a mindset of being a victim. We have to have a regenerated thought life. If we focus on the things that we've gone through, if we just focus on the traumas or the negative experiences in our life, then that alone can keep us down. So a regenerated thought life can help a person to move past having a mindset of victimization. So have you ever in your life, Jackie, experienced where you even felt like you could have been in that kind of space just for a moment? Because I know I have, and I'll explain that in a minute.
Honestly, no. I mean, you have moments where you're down on yourself and you feel frustrated, but I've constantly felt that my negative experiences, my goal was always to overcome them. Right. And because my mother defined herself by her negative experiences. Right. Woe was me, I can't do this because this happened to me. Right. I wanted to be a person who, I did this happened to me and I did this anyway, to prove that I am strong in the opposite direction than her. She's proving that she's weak, in my opinion, and I saw that as a weakness in my mother, and I felt, you can snap out of this. What are you doing? And it frustrated me so much that I was like, I never want to be this person. Yeah. I think it's funny that you and I turned out similarly, having the opposite mothers. We pulled the same thing out of it.
Well, for me, what happened was I saw my mom with that strength and that courage, right? But what happened with me was that when I was a teenager, I experienced different setbacks, when I was trying to accomplish certain goals, and in my early 20s, trying to accomplish certain goals, I had certain setbacks. And so in the midst of feeling a certain way, I was reminded of my mom. So my mom was used as an example to be reminded, oh, okay, Sheree, you gotta bounce back. You can't stay in that space. So in times where I wanted to stay down, I couldn't. And I couldn't say that I didn't know to do different, because I was always reminded of what my mom did. I always saw her just press through all kinds of situations and circumstances. I never seen her just like, oh, well, this is bad and that's it. No, I always saw her, my mother, I always saw her just press through. She always said, it's going to get better, or this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take care of this. She had this resilient attitude, like she just couldn't be stopped. And then people would look at her and say, wow, you raised 5 children, it's 3 girls and 2 boys. And I must say, she gave us core values. We always had a good home. And my mom, she's so much of all the good in my life. All the good that's in my life, that's what she gave me. And so I'm just so thankful that she gave me that example. But a mindset, of victimization, like I said a minute ago, is one that is constantly dramatic. They want the attention on themselves. They also make excuses. They make excuses not to do better. They blame shift. They justify being down. And we don't have to take that position. We simply just don't have to take a position of being down, because you can't be powerful and pitiful at the same time. When something happens in our life, we have to make the adjustment, and we have to have an attitude of getting up. All of us have a story to tell. All of us been through different types of traumas, different types of situations, because there is no perfect family. I don't care how much money you have and where you come from. There is no perfect family. And
I say we all live our own private hell.
In some kind of way.
Everybody has something going on that you don't have any idea what's going on in other people's mind or their home, their family.
Exactly.
They have their own trauma.
And we don't have to, and we don't have to take a downward position mentally. You don't have to define yourself by it. That's right. We really, really don't. And so to develop a different mindset, not to be in that position of being a victim, is to develop a different way of thinking. That's one tip, I would say. Develop a different way of thinking. But
if somebody, I think a lot of times people don't recognize it.
Well, I will say this. I think that some people know what they're doing, but when you tell them the truth, or when they hear the truth, they stay in the position of justifying where they are. Because in order to grow, we first have to accept the fact that we need to grow. We have to accept that first. And then secondly, we have to actually tell the truth on ourselves, even if it hurts. And the truth hurts. When you tell somebody they're being negative, or if you tell somebody, and I'm not saying be nasty to somebody either, but what I'm saying is, if you have a conversation with somebody and you encourage them to make changes in their life, or encourage them to set goals for themselves, or to do something different, they will justify where they are in their life to stay there if they don't want to change, if they don't want to grow. They will make up excuses. They will blame other people, and then they will start talking about what happened to them, as if nobody else has gone through what they have gone through.
Right, definitely.
And then they stay there mentally. I try to have patience with people, because I believe that we should extend grace where grace should be extended, because we all need that in order to grow. But when a person refuses to see where they are, and they keep repeating the same cycle in their life, and they don't want to grow, then guess what? Then I disconnect from that. I disconnect, because we all have gone through something. And to sit in a position downwardly, that's making an excuse not to grow.
Right. Well, they also feel that your pain is nothing compared to my pain. They feel like their weight that they're carrying is so much heavier than yours. And they're resentful when other people are happy.
Yep.
Or good things happen.
That's
other
true.
People get a promotion at work or what have you. They're resentful of it.
Yeah, it's just important that we evaluate ourselves to see where we are. And what I mean by that is check yourself daily. Check out your own attitude. That's what we should do. Evaluate our own attitude. When something happens, do you take on the attitude of woe is me, or do you take on the attitude of I'm going to get through this? That's how you can tell where you are. And most people that don't evaluate themselves, they could take on that victimization mindset and just stay there and then tell their sad story to everybody so that everybody can just feel sorry for them. And I'm not saying not to have empathy or compassion for people that are really hurting. I'm not saying that, because I believe that we should show people compassion. We should have empathy, and we should help people when they need help. But if a person is always singing the same song of why they don't want to grow, why they don't want to change, why they don't want to accomplish goals, they sing the same song. Well, I can't do this because of that, or I can't do this because of this. That person, in my opinion, could have a mindset of victimization where they blame their past so they won't walk into their future. And we don't have to take that type of mindset or that position. We don't have to do it. We can progress and grow and press through our bad relationships or traumas or whatever it is we deal with in our life. We can press through that. We can become something better from what we have gone through, because as you stated, Jackie, we are not defined by what we've gone through. We don't have to become victims to our circumstances. Our mindset, our attitude, our thought patterns has to be better. We have to develop a better way of thinking. I was about to give out some tips earlier, Jackie, and you just ran me off the road. So I'm gonna. It's okay. So, I just had to say it like that. So the tip 1 is develop a new way of thinking, and number 2, I think I stated this earlier. Accept what has happened. You got to accept, the good and the bad about your past, and you have to leave it there. You can't live in your past. You got to live in the now. Number 3, move forward. I think I said that. Move forward daily, not looking back. Number 4, practice walking in a new mindset according to what you want to experience in your life. Number 5, choose to do something new that will bring change in your life so that you won't dwell on your past and take on a victimization mindset. So what were you going to say, Jackie?
I don't know. I think some people might want to heal. They want to be different, and they just don't know how. They might be at that stage where they're like, I'm tired of feeling like this. I can see that I'm annoying the people around me. But they don't know who they are without it. They've defined themselves by this tragedy for so long. Yeah. They don't know how to move past it. They don't know how to be the person with the trauma.
Right. I had a friend years ago, many years ago. She opened up and shared a past experience in her life with me, and it was really, really serious. And she told me about a lot of violent things that happened in her childhood and just the pain that she experienced from it. And so at that time when we were around each other a lot, when she expressed her pain and she expressed her feelings about what happened to her, one of the questions she asked me was, how do you think I should deal with this? Okay, so when she asked that question, I said, let's pray about it. Let's pray about it. Because I couldn't, at that time, it was more than 15 years ago. At that time, I couldn't really give her an answer because, everything she explained to me, it was so serious. I was just left standing there with my mouth open like, what? And so I said to her, let's pray, right? So we prayed about it. And she stayed at my house. She was at my house for a couple of days. And I noticed that what she experienced also sadly had her struggling with some type of depression. So we prayed about it. And then after we prayed, she was like, let's keep doing this. Let's keep praying about it. And so then we started fasting because, fasting, it cleanses, your body. It opens your spirit up. There's a lot of spiritual benefits to fasting. So we fasted and, all of that good stuff. So long story short, after all of that, the praying, the fasting, then she started reading the Bible. She started recognizing that she can become a better person and that she doesn't have to live according to what happened to her. And so because we prayed together, we fasted, and we did all those things because she needed that help, I saw the benefits, of course, at that time of prayer. And I was inspired by the fact that she was willing to be healed. I was also inspired by the fact that she was willing to become a better and stronger person. And so today, she's awesome. Oh, yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, today she's awesome. We can have a conversation and she'll just say, hey, I'm past that. That was my past. And she's just working hard, hardworking woman. And she's just totally blessed. And so she is an example to me of how a person can move past the trauma and past things in their life, not to become someone with a victim mindset. Because if anybody wanted to be a victim, it could have been her because of what she went through. I'm not going to tell you everything she went through because it was really bad, but it was really, really bad. And because of her attitude and because of her resilience, she taught me also that you can overcome anything from your past. You can prevail and have a renewed mind, a renewed spirit, a renewed heart to do something different, to be something better if you are willing. Because none of us should or shouldn't have to take a downward position of having a mindset of victimization. Being in that position, it stagnates your growth. It gives you a blind spot to what your future can be. And we don't have to do that. We just don't. When we go through situations and circumstances in our life, we have to make the adjustment. And I would say to pray, because I'm a praying woman. I would say to pray. But I will also say, make the adjustment and tell yourself, I got to get through this. I got to press through. I got to be my best self. Because taking on a victim-like mindset, it's just not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. My mother passing, Jackie, I guess some people thought I was just going to be crawling on the ground or something. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I refuse to take on that type of mindset of, feeling like, it's the woe is me and all that. No. I'm not going to take on that type of mindset. I also taught my daughter the same thing. When something happens in life, you make sure you pray. And then after you pray, make sure that you make the adjustment, develop a new way of thinking, accept what happened to you, move forward, not looking back, and practice walking in a new mindset every single day according to what you want life to be, not according to what you don't want life to be. Because if you look back at your past and stay in that space, then guess what? Your life will be a reflection of your past, and you don't want that. So having a mindset of victimization, or just according to what you went through, you got to get out of that space, because our past and our traumas and our problems do not define us. All of us have gone through something, right, Jackie? I mean, there's no perfect family.
Absolutely.
You know? So
I think there's one more thing you might need to recognize if you're trying to get out of that space. You may be surrounded by people. If you defined yourself as this person for a long period of time, the people that you surround yourself with have been supporting that identity.
Wow.
So you may need to actually make new friends, get out, find a new job, or whatever you need to do to make new friends, because you can stay stuck in that, because you've now, I mean, we all build our environment. We build our people around us by who we want, how we see ourselves in reflection of the people around us. So if you see yourself as a victim, then you're going to surround yourself with people who support that victim mentality for you. They may be super successful. Maybe their success is based on feeling sorry for you.
Wow.
They like having somebody around that is pitiful so they can feel better about themselves. So if you're in this recognizing state where you really want to be better, you may need to take a look around at the people that you surround yourself with as well, and make new friends.
That's right.
New people who don't know you. They don't know your past. They don't know you're a victim, and you can be fresh and new, and nobody is holding you to that belief system.
Yes, I agree with that, Jackie. And also, don't be around people that constantly talk about problems, because there's some people that's all they talk about is their problems. I don't know if you have experienced that, Jackie.
Absolutely, definitely. I definitely.
I walked into a room and I was just listening to like the problems, and I was like, I looked around the room and I said, oh my God, I felt some kind of way. I could feel the energy of the room. I said, oh, it's time for me to go, because look, we're not supposed to be sitting around talking about problems. We're supposed
unless
to be.
They're going to come up with a solution.
Yes.
Unless that's the point of the conversation.
That's right.
Fix it.
That's right. That's right. Because, I used to say that to my mom. My mom would call me and say, hey, this is what's going on. I say, okay, Mom, let's talk about the solution. All right now. So, but absolutely, we have to be very, very conscientious of that. If you're around somebody and all they talking about is their problems, if you call me talking about your problems, I'm going to be like, listen, I got to go. Because it's no way I'm going to sit and talk about problems for a whole half an hour. I think that if somebody called me and say, hey, SB, I need to talk to you about something, I'm going to listen. I'm going to hear you out. But at some point, we got to talk about the solution, because we all need to vent sometime. But there is people out there that constantly just sit around talking about problems. And those type of conversations are not edifying. They cannot help your spirit. They cannot help your mindset. They cannot lift you up if you're trying to stay away from having a mindset of victimization. It's no way. Have the conversations according to what you want to feel, think, and experience. That's the kind of conversations we should have. I'm really, really hard on my friends, Jackie, in certain environments. I'm tough. I don't go for that mess. I mean, I'll stand there with a look on my face like, what in the world is going on here? What are y'all talking about? I don't go for that. I'm serious. And my family members, they know I don't, If I walk in a room and the conversation is not right, I can feel the energy of it. And if it's not right, I'll just get right in the middle of it and I'll change it, because I don't participate in anything that will bring my spirit down or my attitude into a place I do not belong. So, but I'm going to give those tips out again real quick. Number one, to stay out of a victimization mindset. Number one, of course, pray. First and foremost, you got to pray. The next one is develop a new way of thinking. You have to practice that every single day. Accept what has happened in the past and let it go. Move forward daily, not looking back at your past, but thinking according to what you want to feel and what you want your life to be and what you want to experience. Choose to do something new that can exemplify something new in your life. They are the tips I'm giving to you, listeners, so that you can stay out of that mindset, of victimization, because it does not benefit us to dwell on our past and dwell on it so much so that it becomes us all over again, and you're recycling and rehearsing something that happened 15 and 10 years ago. You don't want to do that. All of us have a story. All of us have been through different things, and none of us are defined by what we have gone through in our life, but we can do something and become something better. So, Jackie, you have anything else you want to share?
No, that was good.
Yeah. Thank you, Jackie, for your input on this, because we all have to be reminded to just continue to press forward to do better. We can have a good life. The next hour, the next minute, the next day. Project that it's going to be good. And your relationships, project that it's going to be good. And leave your past where it is. And none of us are a victim. If you are alive and well and you're listening to this podcast right now, you are a blessing. You're not a victim. You may have gone through some things in your life, but you're not a victim, because if you look at your life, you have overcome something, not to be less. So think about something better to be more. We all can do better. So I thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna be back. I don't know if we're gonna be here next week. I may do an inspirational quote, but because Thanksgiving is next Thursday, what'd you say? I don't know.
It is.
Yeah,
it is next week.
Yeah,
I love Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I'm gonna be traveling, and we'll see what happens. We'll see. But we thank you so much, listeners, for sharing the podcast. We thank you for listening to the podcast, because the numbers on different media outlets are going up. And as I stated earlier, we are on the charts. And so I thank you so much. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at sbfavor. I also have a TikTok handle. There is inspirational content there. You can find me at sbfavor there. And you can also find me on YouTube. Please subscribe. Click the bell so that you can receive a notification each time there is a new episode of SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. And make sure you share the podcast with others. You can subscribe to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast on Spotify, Apple, Castbox, Google. We are on a lot of outlets. So make sure you check us out and subscribe. Wherever you listen to podcasts, just subscribe and make sure you share the podcast with others. You can do no wrong with that, but only good. And thank you once again for listening. And I want to remind you again before I leave, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at $SBFavor at Cash App. Got to tell you that. Thank you so much again, and you have a good day.